Now I'm going to be a little bit pissed.
Because I think all of us probably have something to say about Europe's terrorist issues. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
Germany
everybody,
is fucked
we're
up country.
live. Oh shit, I got my fucking live channel talking back to me. Stop. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do these kind of shows, I think once a month, where I have guests come on and just cover articles and try to show me their brilliance. And
Oh dear.
so rather than introduce them, I'll just say, ask my guest, okay, you're up, and that guest will introduce themselves, their channels, their Twitter, all of that stuff. So that gets shielded right away, and then they'll cover their article. And the reason that I want to do it that way is because if we happen to have people in chat that want to come on and share a story, I'm going to have to ask somebody to drop out. And, it will obviously be somebody that's already shared their story and already done their shilling. Okay, so I'm just going to go in the reverse order of people signing up for this broadcast. That way you'll sign up earlier next time, Tex.
Fuck you.
So first, my first guest is Tex, the pissed off teen. What about you and your channel, Tex?
Fuck you, Tom. Why do I always have to go first?
You sign up last, dude. What can I say?
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Know that? Alright. Well, I'm Tex the Pissed Off Teen. I'm an angry teenager with a southern accent. You can't get any worse than that. And basically what I do on my channel, just rant about stuff that goes on in the world. That's kind of it.
All right, and you got an article you want to share, huh?
I have an article, yes. What do I do?
I can share it for people, and then you can just, as you go along, I'll scroll down for you.
I just got this last minute, so yeah.
All right. I got to figure out how to do it. Don't make me multitask.
Yeah, I can't promise that.
Where in the hell is my goddamn Which one's yours? Oh, I know. I found it. Okay. But it's not showing up in my things that I can share. Hold on.
The stream has already shit the bed, everyone.
Yeah.
It's all Tom's fault.
It is my fault. I don't know.
Yeah,
what the
it's your
fuck's
fault, you
going
old
on.
fuck.
No, I think I'd blame Tex.
Why me? What? I'm always the scapegoat and everything. Oh, it's Tex's fault.
Hey, I say we blame Poe.
Frickin' terrorist attack. Oh, it's Tex's fault.
What the fart? There it is. Okay, I'm going to be able to do this, guys.
Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, this article says about how hundreds of different celebrities got together to, quote-unquote, go against Donald Trump's hateful bigotry. God damn it, liberals.
Well, isn't that a good thing? I mean, if he's being hateful bigot, then we got these. Who are these people? I know this guy.
All
This
these
is Doogie Howser.
That hurts.
It just proves
Neil
how
Patrick Harris.
fucking retarded Hollywood is.
Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking through this list here. Shonda Rhimes. I don't know her. Mark Ruffalo. That's the Hulk.
Yeah. It's those same retards that, in the movies, they're like gun-toting badasses, and they're in reality just anti-gun pussies.
Yeah, well, the Hulk doesn't tote a gun, but he ain't a pussy, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Oh,
God.
Oh, God.
Oh my
fucking,
God.
dude, look at this in this article.
Yep.
A YouTube celebrity who joined the initiative, Lacey Green.
That's
What? God
trash
damn
content.
it.
She's in here, dude.
What the fuck?
Liberals have just went full retard.
What was What was the article called again?
Dozens of celebrities pledged to campaign against Trump, and this is from The Hill. I'll post it in our regular channel here.
They went full Lazy Green. You never go full Lazy Green.
Exactly.
You know what this reminds me of is that this is a lame one for I think Donald Trump. Is that the celebrity he got for the Republican convention was Scott Baio?
So every time I see an article like this, the first thing I think is every Japanese game show ever.
Yeah, right. It's stupid. But there is a deeper kind of a story here because it seems like conservatives or Republicans or whatever you want to say, they are bankrupt on when it comes to as far as getting celebrities on board with their message. And does anybody have speculation as to why that is?
Because most people are smart enough to stay out of political topics.
And celebrities are dumb people?
Yeah, celebrities are
They
stupid.
tend to be. I mean, they basically live a life of complete shelter from the outside world, filled with money to the brim, with no worries whatsoever. It's kind of logical that these people have no connection to what's actually going on in society.
You see, this is what happens when hundreds of celebrities have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the celebrities just sit in an echo chamber.
Yeah, all they do is, oh my god, hateful Thomas, that fucking Donald Trump is such a hateful bigot.
Well, I think that basically my theory is, you guys tear this down if you want,
All right.
the conservative mind or the individualistic mind, let's not use conservative, let's use individualism. Pull your up by your own bootstraps. If you get sick, pay for your doctor. If you can't pay for your doctor, well, you're going to be a little bit sicker. I mean, it's really a kind of a tough son of a bitch and stoic mindset. And on the other side of that is actors. And if you get an actor that can't be emotional, can't drop a tear when you need to drop a tear, you're not going to be a very successful actor. So I kind of think it's just that people that are emotional, think emotionally, are better actors in overall.
So basically, this is just one big show, and they're not that retarded.
I guess in their mind, at least, it's a reality.
Can I run a counter theory to that?
Oh, please do, man.
How I see it more so is in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man rules all. But what if the one-eyed man is being tricked by a two-eyed man, showing him lies? If the dumb people who are always reading, like, I always see people on the buses and trains and stuff just reading through like celebrity, gossip on magazines and shit like that. Imagine what would happen if, it was celebrities saying, oh, they pledge against Donald Trump on every bloody page. You're going to get a lot of people convinced maybe he's not the best candidate for presidency.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's really pathetic how they always try to use these people who have no expertise in any of this stuff. They have no qualifications to talk about any of this. They probably don't. I bet these celebrities don't even pay as much attention to the news and to politics as people like us do, and yet they are taken seriously just because they're famous, just because they were in some TV show or they sang a popular song or something. And I think it really says a lot about the Democratic Party that they rely so heavily on these people to vouch for their shitty candidates and their shitty policies.
Exactly.
Right. And it's some kind of weird, like, tribal thing where because other people know this person and I can't think of anything negative about them. I see them in films. I like them in their film. Then anything they say is automatically correct based on some illogical tribal mentality that people have.
Yeah, that I understand and agree with it. But why do celebrities in the first place, so many of them lean to the left? I don't get it because the U.S. is roughly 50-50, individualist thinking versus collectivist thinking.
I
The
guess when we
orange
come
has
to...
it.
I'm sorry, you go first.
Orange has it correct. Appeal to popularity.
Popularity.
I find it
Yeah.
interesting that they've got the little tag to the right there that says "Share." Trump is a fucking traitor. Correct me if I'm wrong, but her ex-husband was he a governor? He was definitely Republican.
He was a congressman, Sonny
okay,
Bono.
there you go.
Yeah.
And he was a Republican.
Yep.
Now that may just be the same sort of thing that happened with Schwarzenegger being a Republican and his wife being a scion of the Kennedy family. But I mean,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing I find interesting about this is, let's call Donald Trump a traitor because of a comment that he made about Putin. He didn't say something completely negative about Putin, so he's a traitor and he's colluding with Putin or something. But Hillary literally committing crimes that can be tried under treason law literally could be punished with death. Could be punished with death for what she has done under federal law. Somehow she's not a traitor and we can't call her that.
It's all part of a collective consciousness, dude.
But to be honest, it's pretty worrying if you consider that Democrats will actually picture Putin and Russia as the class enemy currently. I mean, that's definitely a worrying cause to go down.
Now, guys, we should forgive and forget.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Move on, make peace, not Warcraft.
It's no big deal. She's just going to be leader of the free world. No big deal.
The thing is, we've got both parties that do it, and it disgusts me on both sides that, you're not rooted in principle. In other words, like Edgy's saying, you saw Trump, I think he tweeted something like, hey, Russia, the media would reward you if you dug up Hillary's other 30,000 emails or something like that. Was that the one you're talking about, Edgy? Oh,
the comment that he made about, and the funny thing about that is that before Trump even said that, the Democrats were already accusing Putin of having something to do with the DNC leaks. They were already saying that before Trump even said that. So they're just completely unprincipled. The left always uses these gaslighting fucking tactics where it's like, okay, they say one thing, then they do something else, and then when you call them out for doing the thing that's against what they originally said, then they deny ever doing that thing. This is like textbook.
Or they double down.
Or they call you a racist.
Yeah, I mean, it's like textbook gaslighting mental abuse of just like just
It's a
denying.
Belgium double think.
Yeah, it's just denial of reality, and they don't care. They don't care if you saw it with your own eyes. They don't care if you have documentation and you're holding it right in their fucking face. It doesn't matter. They will say anything.
Oh, yeah. But you don't feel like the Republican Party does that too?
Well, I was thinking about this actually, and I would really be interested to see some kind of RNC leak, because I have no doubt that the Republican establishment is doing similar kind of shady shit that the DNC was doing. However, I think there's something to be said for the fact that the RNC probably was doing that stuff, and Trump beat them anyway.
Unless they were secretly backing Trump, which I doubt. I think like Mitch McConnell's had 17 strokes for this, which is the best thing ever. All right, well, let's close that one down and go on to the next article. The Orange, what did you have? Where's your fucking link here? I see.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to have to read it from a different one because that particular website is really laggy for me.
Yeah.
So do you want me to toss you the link to the other one I found, or just stick with the
Are
one
you going to put it
got?
up, or do you want me to put it up?
You can put it up.
Then I'll need the goddamn link.
Well, there you go. There's the link.
Oh, Jesus.
Retard.
Right. Oh, jeez. Now I got to come up with all these solutions, and fuck me, technology.
And just as a pot shot to Omegon, I'm going to read this in a posh British accent.
Okay.
I'd love to hear that.
Fuck, here we go.
Here we go.
I gotta share. Hold on. I gotta get to it. Jesus Christ.
Cringe level set to DEFCON 4. Here we go.
I
the cops
fucking
here,
asked
Tom?
for news, and this is what I get, people. This is what I fucking get.
Oh,
All right, go ahead, Orange. I'll scroll as you
What
just
the
speak.
fuck?
Oh my
All
god.
right. So I'm the Orange. My channel is the Orange. I do like a twice weekly podcast, nothing particularly interesting, and my story is End of the World 2016. Here's how we will die on July 29th.
We only got 2
My
days.
goodness. Wow.
Also anime. Also anime, apparently.
I believe this.
All right.
Did logic say that? Of course.
Of course.
It's got to be true.
Right now is the time of your life.
Son of a bitch.
Oh my god. I got this.
Are we ready now?
Yeah, we're ready. I got you down to your text. I don't know if you can see it.
Okay. We have been interested in the end of the world at different points in our lives. We can blame our fascination on science fiction movies, mythology, and general curiosity about the complete destruction. However, science states that the highly improbable scenario is in fact a reality. The end of the world 2016 is going to happen sooner than any of us expected. In the video, it was seen that the end of the world was attributed to a polar flip and a terrible earthquake. The video also featured a lot of Bible verses as to confirm the predictions. States as an article in the Daily Sun, an article in the Morning Ledger explains that according to NASA, the flip, commonly known as polar reversal, happens all the time. However, there are some other natural calamities which could kill us on July 29th, including solar storms, cosmic collisions, and supervolcanoes. An article in Science states that solar storms have already happened before. These refer to clouds, energetic particles erupting from the sun and traveling into space. The energy clouds are known as CME, or coronal mass ejections. There's so many ways that could be dirty.
I know. Omega would stop right there and fill us in on it. Now, is that something that comes out of my fucking eyeball?
Is it me or did he sound like Crown T for a moment?
He's trying to do Omega.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. I'm going to go get my vodka.
we might as well drink up, boys.
Don't make me do my Raymond voice the entire time, my dudes.
You left me on that godforsaken island and you forgot one thing, mate.
But the other one that I actually linked to you, the video showed Jesus blowing fire at tanks.
Oh my goodness. That's brutal.
Amazing.
I have to say, the Bible is really the most entertaining source for all kinds of shittery. Oh, God.
Oh, it was a thing of beauty.
But,
Alright.
yep.
Finish this thing, Orange, but we got to get this cancer done with.
Where was I?
The publication
elaborates.
elaborates.
In 1989, a New Jersey transformer was destroyed by CMEs, leaving 6 million in Quebec, Canada without power. Another threat to humanity comes in the form of asteroids. They are often subject matter for science fiction movies. However, a giant asteroid can potentially wipe out the human race. It did wipe out the dinosaurs many years ago.
I think that's an understatement. Many years ago.
Many years.
And we're going to die because some fuckers in Quebec don't have power. They must be all the farmers that we hear about all the time.
All those people that are frantically collecting maple syrup.
Is this thing ever going to tell us which fucking calamity is going to get us? I got to find out. Go on, Orange.
Lastly, there are supervolcanoes. These are even more dangerous than the cosmic collisions. They have been rearing their ugly heads through human history. For instance, a Mount Toba eruption in Indonesia took place around 74,000 years ago. It nearly wiped out the human race. A supervolcano is bigger and more explosive than a regular volcano. Well, no shit. According to science, it's about 500 times larger than the eruption at Mount Pinatubo in Philippines.
You're killing Tom.
1991. Not much research has been carried out in the area of natural disasters and their effects on the existence of the human race. More often than not, such subjects elicit laughter rather than serious investigation, though there is no evidence of the world ending in a few days.
Oh, fuck.
Congratulations!
Bring about the people around.
Can we all
Fucking asshole.
can we all do Tom a favor and can we click on that third clickbait ad from the last?
I mean, what was the purpose of this article? Have they set up at least a donation button to save the world or something? I mean, what the
Who
fuck?
saves a bird or something?
You know, I think I got this orange guy pegged. I think Bene and Crowd had a baby and became orange.
Yeah, well, except this one is a double down retarded baby.
There's no evidence.
Oh, shit. Now, so far I've asked for news articles, and I got a fucking celebrity article from Tex, a fucking clickbait article from the Orange, so...
The world is not...
I think,
That was CNN.
I think you guys are trying to kill off my last brain cells here, actually.
Yeah.
All right, I'm still...
Let's kill off his brain cells.
All right, Futter, you're next, so let me... Oh, fuck. He's
I don't
got
know which
another
one.
piece of shit. Oh, my God.
We can do one about
Yes, we will have
non-binary, or we can go how cockroach milk is the next superfood.
Yeah, we got to cover that. That sounds a genius.
Yum.
It's,
Best news.
I did not know cockroaches had tits anyways.
And I have not read this yet. I kind of shit the bed and didn't realize until the last second to have a news article.
It
Well,
looks like
see
that's
how-
what 90% of the people are doing in this stream.
You came up with cockroach milk? I'm surprised they had milk to begin with.
Futter, you can handle this. This is like one
The
paragraph.
food industry now.
Now, what crossed somebody's mind to make them actually want to discover cockroach milk?
What should I do with this cockroach?
Hey.
I must
This
see
is
if it has
from,
the titties. Yeah.
I assume it has something to do with veganism.
Yeah.
Oh wait, cockroaches are lives too.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
And this is only from yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
This
You
myth
guys
is
are fucking useless. What?
Hey, at least I did news, Tom.
Okay, you wanted articles. You didn't specify news articles, okay?
I did.
No, you didn't. You asked for articles, you got articles. Now you have them, now you're whining about it.
Okay. Are you going to read... Futter, are you going to talk about your channel and what your article... Read your article here?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm fairly new YouTuber. It's Futternut A, and right now there hasn't been much on content. I'm trying to figure out new software and get a little bit better quality videos. You can also follow me on Twitter at Futternut A.
Wow. All right. Now
All
read your cockroach article. I think you can handle it.
A natural protein crystal that it doesn't take like much. Wait.
Oh, man.
Hey, apparently the other Canadian is going to struggle with reading this.
Yo, for a rip, eh?
All right, somebody that can do
No,
a...
no, I just Freudian slip. A natural
All right.
protein crystal that doesn't take like much, but contains nature's most powerful. Yeah, fuck it, I can't read.
Jesus, it's
I can't
only
even read it.
it's
What-
only
what's-
it's
natural
only 3:30 and
crystal.
Futternutter's fucking ripped.
You can do a Trudeau imitation. They can do this.
How the hell does Trudeau sound like?
Very
I don't
part
know.
of French Canadian.
I knew that, but like,
A natural protein crystal that doesn't take like much but contains nature's most powerful energy-packed protein punch could be your next go-to superfood. If only you can get over the fact it's cockroach milk. Fuck me. Nobody is going to drink cockroach milk.
Tom sounds like one of them drunk truck drivers.
Can't wait to see how they advertise this.
They need some kind of catchy name.
You have to think the roach problem in New York, it could end up being an ex-business.
I'm just looking at the guy, like the doctor, the biochemist name. Is it Submarinian or Subramanian?
Subramanian. I
think. It would be so much cooler from Submarinian.
Has it something to do with noodles?
Submarine.
Listen to this. Scientists still need to test whether humans can digest it.
But we're apparently going to concern ourselves with whether or not this is the next superfood.
Okay, so basically they're going to give it to us, right? But we don't know if we can digest it or not. That's basically what they're saying here.
Futter, you're fired. This is fucking bullshit.
No, you're fired, Tom. You asked for articles.
Oh, okay. I'm fired.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Somebody save me with the real article here.
Let's see if I can find something.
Nope, I will not be able to finish that.
What is that?
I technically have a real article.
All right, let's
Technically-
look at it.
Alright. Can I just like not read this and summarize it because it just pisses me off and I didn't sleep at all last night.
All right, let me get it up. Yeah, you don't have to read it. But introduce yourself and
Stop it.
I am the Cultivated Heathen. I want to start a YouTube channel, but I am currently lacking an up-to-date laptop because this one is 10 fucking years old. But I do have a Twitter. It is Cultivated Heathen.
cool.
All right,
Nice.
so this article specifically pisses me off right at the beginning when it starts talking about women and their experiences with catcalling. And most of these things, it's like the first one is linked to somebody. Now the first one is an insult, which isn't really a catcall, honestly, if you look at the Google definition of catcalling. And then it proceeds to go on with like things such as stalking and sexual assault, and claiming those things as catcalling for one. But now they are labeling it as abuse. So somehow whistling at an attractive woman is abusive.
Ah, damn it.
Well, they want to criminalize all male behavior. I mean, all male sexuality. I mean, isn't that the truth?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, then go for it next time they are complaining that there are no husbands left willing to marry them.
I'm sorry. Did you complete the paperwork in triplicate that said that I was accepting your desire to speak to me?
Yeah, how come it doesn't work both ways? I want to know.
You have to sign this first.
Yep.
Yeah, it pisses me off the fact that it's now illegal and considered abuse to call a woman attractive in public. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things you can just either ignore or react to.
Yeah.
And anything else
yeah.
is something that's actually illegal, such as sexual harassment and abuse, which is touching. So.
Yeah, the fact that they're conflating commentary with abuse, it falls into line with the standard intersectionalist opinion that words can be violent, which is, well, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
But if you look
most
at
of us
this,
were taught.
If you look at this, it's not insults though. Like if you look through like people
It's
who are
compliments,
complaining
for
about
fuck's
them.
sake.
Exactly. It's like this guy called me sweetie. He's sexually harassing me, and this is catcalling, and it should be made illegal.
I'm pretty sure the definition of harassment requires more than one incidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere I've been, yeah.
And abuse, I'm absolutely positive that it requires ongoing behavior. Like it requires an actual attempt to continue a series of negative behaviors.
Yeah, it just this is a really big thing for me is how people react to being complimented by people.
Oh, yeah, they'll
I
always
never-
react.
I never thought feminists would have a problem with somebody complimenting them.
I can tell you
met a
why they have
feminist.
this problem. They're actually feminists who are complaining about neglect rape, simply because nobody is caring about them. So they get over jealous at women who get catcalled and want to outrule it for everybody. They really have to ruin our fun.
Now,
Yeah, man.
on the other side of this, it's interesting that feminists don't have a hue and cry up about. I'm trying to remember the name of the pub. I believe it was the Hootenanny Pub, and it was in Inverness, Scotland. The pub was entirely staffed by men. They all wore kilts. They all wore them regimentally.
Oh.
And these men were consistently being harassed and groped. And one of the comments that I saw, there was a blog post responding to it, and one of the comments was like, "This isn't even a problem. Men always want to be groped." It's like, whoa.
Oh.
Hashtag double standards.
Yeah, not if you hang around the skanks I hang around with. No.
Tom, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Yeah.
I may have low standards, but my standards are still higher than yours.
Yeah, that's quite true.
Well, yeah, and I think the central issue here is what we want to do is we want to bridge gaps between the genders. We want them to feel more comfortable with each other because, you know, this is half of the population versus half the population. We want people to work together and to understand each other, not be afraid of each other. And so what this says is basically if a man tries to talk to you in public, if he says something nice, then you're in danger. And you're not, and it's just silly, especially to have a law like this. You know, you catch somebody on the wrong day, and they're
Oh, police! This man is abusing me. He called me pretty.
Now
yeah.
Beautiful
Beautiful is a dangerous word.
Storming Gundish tanks, goddammit.
Now, here's the other problem with this. Something similar to this occurred during the Brexit vote, in which they arbitrarily defined any support of Brexit as hate speech. And that's where this is going to go, is because they're just arbitrarily saying that unwanted contact, which is completely subjective.
How can you tell they don't want you to say they're beautiful? Look
Doesn't
at how they're
this
dressed.
contradict it? Doesn't this kind of contradict the definition of hate speech, though?
Yeah, well,
like,
but that's
you're pretty and I like you. Oh, well, you're creepy and you're harassing me and assaulting me with hate speech.
Oh yeah, that's
Right,
every
right,
female
right.
right there.
But the German laws against hate speech would be paradise for them.
Well, now here's the thing: is that this is the new Duluth model, in which there will be a series of statistics gathered based on this that clearly show that men are this horrific pack of predatory animals, and therefore we need feminism more than ever.
Yeah.
We are horrific.
When honestly, I wish it would just go away.
Look at what it says here. They're also saying the use of mobile devices to send unwanted or uninvited messages or take photographs without consent or permission. You're
Which
in a
means
fucking
that-
public place.
Which
and I can't-
means that in the event of Lauren Southern going to Nottinghamshire and doing media reporting, which is perfectly legal, you are allowed to record for media purposes in any public place without requirement for consent.
Yeah, it's out in the public.
Yeah, which means that Lauren Southern, and let's be clear, the bulk of the UK is under constant closed-circuit television surveillance, as it is.
Yep.
So does this mean that uninvited photography by closed-circuit television is now illegal as well?
Oh no, not if it's the authorities. It's
Only if there's a female involved, apparently.
Exactly.
only
You
if
know, an
like,
example of a Valiant double think.
Here's one.
What happened to equality, guys? I thought that we were focused on equality. I guess not.
Oh, but that's not feminism, though.
Yeah, I guess.
We're talking about egalitarians.
You know what I'm finding really funny about all these new laws? They're ignoring us old school people that still have landlines. Because I'm sorry, my home phone is not a mobile device.
Yeah, but you can't send a dick pic through a landline that I'm aware
Well,
of.
I can try.
Yes, you can.
I'd like to see you try.
I mean, what do you marking? What do you think? 56K fax machines. You know, that's
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that most people don't have physical modems anymore. And
No,
seriously, if you're on your landline, busy tamping out the Morse code for "Would you like to see my 12-inch?" I'm pretty sure most people, except for possibly Tom.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you because everything that's possible on the internet is possible over a landline.
Quick, what's your fax number there, Mark?
He's gonna send a dick pic through there or something.
And remember, this is like not even a year after, maybe a year after Ryan Reynolds on one of the late night shows uttered the words, "Dick pics are literally worse than terrorism."
What the fuck?
Oh, I never heard that.
He's joking.
Come on.
It's a joke. You know what a joke is, guys, remember?
Yeah,
It's a
well,
joke. It's a
really
joke,
was.
not a dick. Don't take it so hard.
the problem is that many feminists glommed onto that and, see, dick pics are violent.
I'm going to do Marking's news article next. Maybe there's something in there that'll make me feel good. See, the world ending, feminism is out of control, celebrities are dipshits.
But don't worry, there's
My
cockroach
lovely
milk.
one.
What
That
was yours,
cockroach milk's
Mark?
gonna save us all.
Okay, so mine's technically two-part. So this is midstream sanity. In Wichita, Kansas, the police and the local community reached out to each other and had a cookout. And the community sat down with the police and said, like, listen, these are our needs for community policing. And the police said, okay, well, this is what we need in order to assist assist you and meet your community policing needs. Interestingly, there's been a huge backlash out of BLM about it.
Yeah, of course.
Because this is very much counter-narrative to the BLM narrative.
Yeah. How are you surprised by this? Seriously.
I'm not particularly. I mean, but then again, I'm in Canada, so I'm still confused by this whole race issue that appears to go on in the States, or is reported as occurring in the States.
Not just in the States. It's already in England. You know,
Yeah,
the
well,
country
no.
where they only had 5 deaths in the last year by the police.
Actually, it was 2 deaths in 2015 was what I heard reported. And neither of them were black.
No, I heard 5 and one of them was black. But that one actually shot at the cops and they shot back. So you can't.
Which is
say
interesting because
fucking racist cops.
Yeah, well, but that's let's focus on that for a second. That's interesting because regular metropolitan. I'll just use London Metropolitan Police. They
don't have guns.
Yeah, they don't. None of the actual regular patrolmen or patrolwomen have guns.
Nope.
No. So in order to have an individual shot by police, it automatically involves escalation to the point where special reaction teams are deployed.
Yep. Brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Which means
So
that at that point, that is already a volatile, potentially dangerous individual.
But Mark, you forget, a black man walked across the street.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but D-Ray was jaywalking, so fuck him.
But it's even worse because if you look at London, Hyde Park, they had a water balloon fight, and then
it
3 policemen
degenerated
got
into stabbings.
Yeah, because Black Lives Matter. I kind of decided I will no longer call the organization Black Lives Matter, but I'm thinking either Black Lives Matter or full of shit.
Or how about just niggers?
No, because there are good niggas out there. I mean, this is not a
No,
black...
they're not. No, they're not. No.
Yeah,
What?
yes, there are.
No,
One at a time, one at a time.
Wow, the Southerners coming out in this fucking stream. I'll tell you that.
Allow me to point out a relatively important quote by Tupac. You're not a nigger because you're black. You're a nigger because of how you act. So...
Hold on.
I would agree with you. I 100% would agree with you. But not too long ago, I saw this video on YouTube about some guy that I would definitely classify as a nigger, saying, "What the fuck are you on about? We shoot each other, and we complain when the police shoot one of us.
Oh yeah,
Why?
yeah.
So that we can shoot him? What the fuck?"
Yeah, that was Kevin Gates. He's a rapper from Baton Rouge, and he was basically saying like at one point he said something like oh, he should have let him live so we could kill him, like we meaning black people.
Yeah, and he was definitely a nigger, but he's not bad. I mean he's realizing it.
There was a clip on YouTube where they were making a video about 25 questions black people have for Black Lives Matter, and they were also making a topic asking why Black Lives Matter is focusing so heavily on police violence while in the communities black people still kill each other.
While ignoring the fact that on any given weekend there is between 30 and 50 deaths in Chicago.
The current major cause of death for black people between 15 and I think 35 is black people.
Yep.
I mean, homicide is the main reason why they die. Whereas in most societies it could be accidents or heart disease, but with them it's homicide. How fucked up is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, just look at, was it this past weekend where there was a nightclub shooting that is clearly gang-related? I don't recall where it was. There was a nightclub shooting, and it was almost immediately resolved to be gang-related.
Mm-hmm.
Now, interestingly, so the police chief, which I'm sorry, I have to laugh at his name. It's Gordon fucking Ramsay. So I'm like Gordon
What
Ramsay.
the fuck is this? It's not a shooting.
So interestingly, if you look at the response that was there was an offer, and I'm trying to recall where the Oakland. Okay, so Oakland is a very heavily there's a huge representation of black people in Oakland, and the police union in Oakland extended a barbecue invitation to the local Black Lives Matter community, and the response from one of their principal organizers was, "I eat pigs, I don't eat with them."
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
And there you have it.
But these people in what was it, Wichita? They did have a decent, sounds like a barbecue with the Black Lives Matter people.
They had members of the police force playing ball. I mean, and they had active conversations where everybody mingled, and they're like, "Hey, this is where I live, and this is a need in our community that we want the police to help us with." And the police said, "Okay, well, we're going to address it this way. Is that okay?" And there was some back and forth.
Yeah,
Now,
you know what? I think the difference is you've got the real revolutionaries in there, and they are sending out the message that, that some of these more law-abiding folks are buying into.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so some of these BLM are just going to be like, they just watch the media. The media has been poisoning this well for fucking I don't know how long. And, if it's black and it bleeds, it leads. And if it's white and it bleeds, it's, I don't know, fucking steak at the local fucking butchery. I mean, it's not even a story. So I think a lot of people are just not informed, and they will find themselves in this group. Now, obviously, these people don't look radical.
Interestingly, this is infiltrating the current presidential cycle, because the Democratic National Convention had multiple mothers of individuals killed by police action on stage speaking, and these are, Hillary called them the mothers of the movement, and one of them was the, I'm trying to remember which particular guy it was, but I believe it was Eric Garner's mother was like the first one invited.
And she spoke out against Black Lives Matter.
No, she did not.
Ah, okay.
Remember, the Democratic Convention didn't have a single American flag involved.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that tells you something.
Sadly.
I mean, they are totally at this point a Marxist revolutionary group. They don't want
BLM on their website is blatantly Marxist.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the Democratic Party. I mean,
them too.
If we go back 20 years, they were basically more just social safety net party. On their way to becoming this Marxist party, but yeah, they went full tilt, and I was saying at the time, I didn't have any science behind it, but I'm just like, God damn it, this has got to be a slippery slope. If you get what you want, then you'll want more, then you'll want more, and then you'll want more, and then pretty soon the system will be bankrupt and everybody will be fucking at each other's throats. And I think that's
Well, I mean,
happening.
remember what Margaret Thatcher said. Socialism is just fine until you run out of other people's money to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't. When you have an uninformed public that's not willing to balance the books and respect that people worked hard, a lot of people worked hard for their money. When they won't respect that and they're voting for people, your country's in trouble, and that's where we're at. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, Tom, by that same line of thinking that you were on, this isn't exactly news, but today I came across this propaganda website called "What Does Donald Trump Think of You?" It's called freetrumpscore.com. And I'm just going to skip the questions here and show you my results. I got 753. Great person, the best. Projected fate, vice presidential nod. And it says, what's helping my score is that I'm a man, I was born in America, and I'm white. What's hurting my score is that I'm not rich and I'm not religious. And apparently I am extremely similar to David Duke, according to this test.
Fuck, you just goddamn doxed yourself. God damn it. I goddamn warn people about that.
And my projected fate under President Trump is a lifetime membership at Mar-a-Lago, and a member of Riot Guard Army of Trump trademark. So what is this website about? Well, I noticed that it says that it's a Purpose Labs production. Now, if we go to purpose.com, what do we see first thing?
Oh my gosh. But the one thing I really want to point out on Black Lives Matter, and I feel that the media hasn't done this at all, less than 60%, no, sorry, less than 35 to 40% of black people actually agree with what Black Lives Matter says. Most of the supporters of Black Lives Matter aren't black.
It's the same with feminism. They only have maybe 19% of the female population of the US agreeing with them, and still speak like their cause is for all women.
Yeah.
Actually, I ran into a woman who told me that people who are white should not support Black Lives Matter, but should either be neutral or reject it.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here. They were basically saying that white people are insignificant to the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm like, other races than black are the reason you exist.
Last
How
time
are
I
they?
heard the sentences came from Uncle Adolf.
But okay, guys, I just wanted to keep going with this for a second. So I went and poked around a little bit on Purpose.com. So we have a few different links, a few different things that we can take here. There's Campaign Zero, there's Color of Change, and then there's the actual Purpose.com website. So of course they have this, nice looking stuff of like, oh, look at the nice people, they support our agenda. Look at us protesting, look at us changing the world. So if we go to the About page here, we get into all this word salad here. A proud public benefit corporation, we create and launch our own ventures, collaborate with the world's leading organizations, and develop technology, tools, and content that move millions to remake the world.
Basically, we are cancer.
That sounds like Anita Sarkeesian to me.
Where is the meaning in any of this? So there's all these vague statements on here, like start our own movements. What movements? It doesn't say. Work with others. In what way and who? As a strategy consultancy and creative agency, we collaborate with progressive companies, nonprofits, and philanthropies, helping them put purpose and participation at the core of what they do. So they start getting into values, and this is the one that stuck out to me here. Pragmatic idealism, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean.
Well, that's kind of the progressive playbook, is that you move as much as you can towards total authoritarianism, one little bit at a time. But that's progressivism in my mind. I was talking with the Wizard of Cause on Logic's stream yesterday a little bit about this, and I tell me if you guys have a different opinion of what a progressive is. A progressive is somebody that thinks that if you get a bunch of smart people and put them in charge, they should be able to tell what they should do in their lives. That's progressive.
Which is interesting because that implies that there is some inherent level of meritocracy required.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're against meritocracy.
No.
But they are.
I mean, they absolutely are.
Yeah, I mean it's sort of it's like meritocracy for. I think
For the right people.
Right.
It's like animal. It's like Animal Farm.
It's a misnomer for. Yeah, it's like pseudo meritocracy in that Animal Farm way of some animals are equal, but some animals are animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Yeah.
If you're in the power structure of the progressive movement, there's meritocracy in there. What they do is they use the opposite message and use that against the public to cause fucking chaos. That's what I see.
But even within themselves. Because if you do not agree with what the main line says, you will get, ostracized within the organization.
Yeah, but you still can't be, I should say totally incompetent. I mean,
the thing
look
is,
at George Bush. I mean,
they basically view themselves as the total victims. Their goal is basically to elevate the bottom line of society, people with no income, people who feel oppressed by better classes above them, whatever. They want to uplift these people until the former bottom line of society sits at the top and then oppresses everybody else below them. It's total autocratic what they are trying to achieve.
yeah.
So let's look at here's their work page, and they have these 3 sections here. Our strategists think deeply about the right kind of intervention to address a social problem or help a partner develop a coherent social mission or engagement strategy. Build, we deploy our award-winning creative campaigning and technology capabilities to launch new brands, technology products, and social movements that stand out. And act, we rapidly prototype campaigns to scale and deepen engagement in our movements. We execute at all levels of ambition, directing some of the largest public engagement campaigns in the world today.
So this is literally social engineering.
Well, just to summarize, if I could actually finish what I'm saying, guys, this is just a long-winded corporate word salad fucking way of saying we are propagandists. This is professional, flashy, shiny agitprop. To brainwash the masses into doing what we want them to do. That's essentially what this is. So if you scroll down here and look at selected partners, look at some of the names we see. ACLU, Livestrong Foundation, Ben & Jerry's, Google, Audi, Oxfam, UN Foundation, SCIU,
for Humanity,
TED, Every Town for Gun Safety, fucking this is actually the Syria campaign, whatever the fuck this is. I would love to know what that is, but it won't let me.
As a supporter, I guess.
But okay, so
Google. Look at it, guys.
Yeah. So then,
but Google will put their name on anything. They don't care.
But see, then I wondered, okay, well, who's behind this shit? Who created this shit? So I went and did a who is lookup. And this guy, Jeremy Hymans, owns this domain name, purpose.com. So who is Jeremy Hymans? Here's an article on Forbes called Jeremy Hymans of Purpose.com on mobilizing millions for change. And he goes into talking about, all the corporate bullshit speak that's on his website. And it turns out that this guy is actually he's an Australian-born political activist and a co-founder of an organization called GetUp and global online political community Avaz.org. So what is GetUp? GetUp is an Australian progressive activist group which was launched in August 2005, the same week that the centre-right coalition, which already controlled the House of Representatives in Australia, took control of the Senate. It relies on donations from individuals, blah, blah, blah. So basically this guy is like, it even says right here, in the vein of MoveOn.org. This is basically the Australian version of MoveOn.org, except now this guy is getting involved in global politics, and specifically American politics, and associating himself with projects like Color of Change and JoinCampaignZero.org. So basically this guy is like just some rich liberal faggot asshole muscling in on our politics and thinking that he has a right to to tell people what they should think and how they should behave and what they should feel guilty about and who they should vote for.
It kind of sounds like edgy.
But
Actually,
I'm
technically, it sounds a great deal like Rupert Murdoch from the other end.
yeah,
Well-
not just Rupert Murdoch. What's the other guy? The one that supported Black Lives Matter, which
Soros.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the case of this Campaign Zero thing, if you go to our friend, this guy was featured in that collab video Ape and I did. Our friend DeRay McKesson
Oh,
here.
fuck that guy. He's a...
Yeah, if you go to his Twitter, Project Campaign Zero is actually linked in his Twitter bio, and he's also on something called thisisthemovement.org. But you know, this is something that I don't think an Australian should have anything to do
Hang on,
with.
whoa. Why are we not questioning the fact that that's DeRay McKesson clearly wearing a trilby?
You know, in
He's
former
clearly a
times, he would-
neck-bearded shitlord. He needs to be punished for his wrong thing.
Yeah, DeRay McKesson confirmed MRA, guys.
Yep.
To be honest, in former times he would be convicted for subversive, for foreign manipulation and subversive campaigning. There were laws against it in old Europe.
Well, if you campaign for an actual candidate, there's a lot of rules, but, you know, we have this thing called the freedom of speech here in America, and you don't even have to be an American to be able to speak your mind in America.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no way to really stop that, Edgy.
I mean, here's the thing: is I think Modwayne is onto something when he uses the word subversive, because a lot of what these people do is dedicated to lying outright about the current system and the freedoms that people enjoy and don't enjoy. Like for instance, here's something that we didn't mention, Ape and I didn't mention in our video when I mentioned Project Campaign Zero. Look at this. Under this section that says end profiling and stop and frisk, they mention immigration status. So if you're an illegal immigrant, they don't want the police to be able to question you on that.
However, interestingly, the man-spreading campaign in New York primarily targeted men that were non-white.
Oh, how about that?
The feminist campaign for the stop of man-spreading on public transport actually was just another. It ended up being just another method of dealing with people that are claimed to be, you know, already targeted.
You guys just have to be aware of the idea that the thing that the thread that runs through all of this is people thinking that they have the right to tell other people how to live, and that is the fucking poison that we're fighting. It really is that and corruption.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. We need to accept other people and not force who we are or what we want out of the world on others, and try to find a way to all do our own thing.
The perfect example of that is the gay cake baking. That to me is not a religious issue. If you come to my store and I don't want to serve you, I don't give a fuck why it is. I don't want to serve you. It's fucking oppression. It's literal oppression to force me to do something I don't want to do.
Now, here's something interesting. That end traffic-related police killings and dangerous. Okay, you know what? I have no objections.
Comment on that one.
I have no objections to the use of, for instance, airborne policing. Okay, so we had this big discussion where Futternutter and I are from, because we had a cop that was allegedly engaged in a high-speed chase. He cut a car in half, killed a grandfather and one of the grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and this fomented a giant push towards getting our local police a chopper, and that chopper has been used to great effect. So I have no objections to this use of, airborne surveillance and airborne policing. Now, here's something that really needs to be considered concerning any of these types of traffic-related police killings or stops that end up involving police dealing with an individual, legally or illegally, carrying any kind of weapon. And this comes from my experience as a security guard. When you dealing with a police officer, you need to alert them that you are carrying a weapon, and you need to, if you are going to draw it, say that you are going to clear the weapon. And you need to do so slowly. Or
Right.
you need to tell them exactly where it is and tell them that you are moving to position the weapon where they can gain control of it.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's the way I would handle it. Is I would calmly inform the officer that I am in
I
fact
have a
armed.
pocket knife in
yeah.
my.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
typically wear Carhartt pants, so I've got side pockets, tool pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm at work, I typically carry a pocket knife. So I would say, officer, I have a pocket knife in the right tool pocket on my right thigh. I am going to slowly move so that you can take control of that.
But isn't it so? I mean, the last time I saw a training video of the American police, I was led to believe that a driver, whether he had a carry permit or not, even if he said that he had a carry permit, was to keep his hands at
Absolutely.
the wheel at all times.
The appropriate response in a traffic stop is to say, officer, I am a legal concealed carry permit holder. I have a weapon in this location. I would like to put my hands behind my head and exit the vehicle if you can hold open the door, and you can take possession of that weapon at this time.
I don't even think you have to be.
doesn't-
You don't have to be that knowledgeable.
You don't have to be that formal, but
All
you
you have to
be
do is say,
clear.
officer, leave your hands on the wheel, and officer, I do have a weapon in this car. What would you like me to do? You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Engage the officer. Give them the option to direct you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's the thing people don't understand is that cops actually appreciate when people follow procedure and they're cooperative like that. Like, at least in my jurisdiction, something as simple as, when a cop's pulling you over, when you see the cherries and berries, what you're supposed to do in Illinois is put your hazard lights on, not your turn signals. You're not supposed to just keep driving without reacting in any way. Just putting your hazard lights on. I've actually had cops remark on that and say thank you for following procedure, like directly thank me for doing that. All you have to do is cooperate and show some respect, and chances are they'll show it back.
Well,
I know somebody that lives on the eastern seaboard, and he had a personal incident that convinced him that he needed to get a concealed carry license. And not only did he get a concealed carry license because of this event, he also paid for 3 of his friends to get concealed carry licenses because he keeps the weapon in his vehicle. And at any time, if any of those 3 friends happen to be in the vehicle with him and he leaves the vehicle, they can be prosecuted for being in possession of a concealed weapon.
So not if they have the license, yeah.
Yeah, so because they have the capacity to operate under concealed carry permits, they can be in the vehicle unsupervised because they know where the weapon is, they have the appropriate permitting.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. I want to make sure everybody gets their stories out. Logic, you got one up. You want to present it, or you want me to screen share it?
It looks like you've got it.
Yeah, I do. I can present it here.
One thing we're not seeing, though, is on the sidebar here, the top story is Mom Beats Girl Live on Facebook.
What?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the-
I heard about that.
Yeah, so that's the top story. So, I mean, this is the type of stuff that CNN is into. so there you go. But this is kind of an older article, and this was kind of prior to a lot of the attacks that we're seeing this month. So the State Department warns Americans about European travel. Basically, they're just saying that the State Department has put out a warning, and basically they're discouraging people from traveling to Europe. And here's the thing: if the State Department's going to say something like this, then it's just so silly that we keep thinking that it's okay for all of these people to be coming in when these attacks keep happening. I think a priest was beheaded in the middle of Mass. I think that was yesterday or the day before that in France.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, and this thing is just going to continue escalating. And really what this is we're allowing a bunch of impoverished people to come into the country. We're not really able to help all these people. And we're dealing with a lot of people with psychological issues. And on top of that, there's a religious radical ideology that they can basically cling to that gives them an out, basically, to their suffering. And, you know, when you have a lot of people who are suffering, they're going to, and that feel like they're victims to the situation, they're going to blame people outside of themselves and the circumstance rather than doing something personally. And so this is kind of an issue, I think.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. It's too dangerous for Americans to go to Europe, so let's import the fuckers that are making Europe dangerous to America. That makes a lot of sense.
Well,
You seriously
there
don't want to open this kind of worms in America.
There are still places in Europe you are relatively safe to go to. In Hungary, Poland, Czechia and Slovakia, because they're two different places, you are still relatively safe. One of the reasons being that those countries simply refuse to take in Muslim refugees.
Yep. They do the right thing.
And I know that I'm not a fan of extreme right violence, but Poland seems to approach misbehavior from refugees roughly the same as Russia does. I mean, they can get attacked on the street, and if they go to the police, they're lucky if the police doesn't join in on the attack.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I can't remember where I saw it, but somebody showed me this article where the minister of France, the interior minister, I think, said he wanted the French people that were of the mind to join basically the police reserve.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, if you were going to handle this peacefully, but it's going to have to be handled kind of by force, but wouldn't you rather have the people that are wanting to drive out this radical Islam, wouldn't you rather have those people in kind of under the guidance of a benevolent police force helping them?
Yeah, rather than waiting till the sparks hit the powder keg and it all goes boom.
Right, and the people take shit into their own hands without any guidance. But on the other hand, that does sound exactly like a brown shirt organization.
Yeah, but it's
scary, but it seems like a sensible plan.
I read an article how in France they're actually considering internment camps.
I think the real problem here, guys, is that basically these countries are letting in people that they can't take care of, and then they're creating problems. You know, they're doing things they're not supposed to do. They're doing illegal things. They're killing people. It's all psychological issues as a result of victimization. And so, really, the thing is, they just can't let these people in anymore because
France won't help though. I mean, France, most of the attacks in France weren't done by people that were let in. Most of them were done by people who were there for a very long time already.
Yeah, well, the core is the mental illness issue, which is the result of this circumstance. And so letting more people in that are going to be prone to that situation, I think, is just going to worsen the whole thing.
Yeah, I can't help. So, yeah, I've been saying, I don't know, for a while now, just put the Middle East and all the Islamic countries or wherever terrorism's coming from, just put them into isolation mode. You're not coming out of there. You're under quarantine.
I have a question / idea.
I will say that Trump came out with an interview lately, and I don't trust Trump, but this was exactly my thought. Extreme vetting, extreme checking you out if you come from one of these places. I think that's warranted at this point. What do you guys think?
Well, unfortunately, I am going to say you're right. And I don't want to say you're right, but I feel you are.
Okay, here's my question. How come everybody's so against internment camps?
Exactly.
No, like, you take the stigma off of it. What they're there for is, okay, we don't know where the fuck you're from. We don't know anything about you. We want to help you out. Intern. We are going to put you in this camp temporarily. At that point, we are going to vet you. And in Canada, we could put the internment camp up in Nunavut or somewhere else where there is no population. And the ones that are fucking radical douchebag fucks, well, we can send them out in the wild, and we'll get them before the polar bears get them.
Or gas
What
them.
is wrong with that?
Well, you guys, it should be noted that we've done this before in World War II with the Japanese, so it's totally feasible and possible for us to do it. We could and might.
Yeah.
And in the case of the Japanese, they had the loyalty to the emperor, who was a self-proclaimed god, and so that's kind of why I think they decided to actually do that, because Japanese loyalties with their culture, because they're a collective society, and so they made that choice. But in the case of Muslims, I think it's much more extreme, and so it's very possible, you guys, that they might do something like that.
It's also fair to note that during the Iran-Contra events, Jimmy Carter restricted immigration from any Muslim countries.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
He was the first, by the way.
No, he
Yeah.
was not. But he was a Democrat, so it's not important, right?
But no, that's the thing, though, because everyone's complaining about how Trump is saying he will close the borders to Muslims, and this is unjustified and this is unconstitutional. But no, it's not. It's allowed. There has been precedent in the past that the American presidents have done this. So yeah, if he gets to be the president, he is allowed to do this.
Exactly.
Honestly, I wish they just do it already.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
problem is,
I don't know about you
some-
guys, but typically in a war, you don't want your enemies to come in.
Yeah, it's called a Trojan horse. Yeah, it's an age-old lesson, and evidently the left in the United States, I don't know, they're either absolutely retarded or, I mean, not all of the left, but the ones that are driving democratic politics, they're either absolutely retarded or they want more chaos and destruction, and I can't figure out how they think that that's going to benefit them.
Well, you
Unless
gotta
they-
also take into account they are voting for Hillary Clinton, which can't be good.
Yeah, I mean, she has more skeletons in the closet than several named mass murderers. So literally, which is too weird. I mean, how can you have someone become president that has been under FBI investigation, and the FBI basically says, yeah, what she did was wrong, but we're not going to follow up on it?
Yeah.
Beyond
Corruption.
mind-boggling. I mean,
I think people talked for one day about the corruption of the votes for the delegates. I think they talked for one day about that.
There's
You
your
know,
answer,
and now
Tom.
they're like, oh hey, well, vote Hillary.
But on the issue of putting them into camps, I mean, in Germany we already have the situations that we have the refugees already in the country. We cannot simply deport them because there's basically no place where we could deport them to. And we kind of already put them into some kind of camps. They're usually enclosed refugee shelters. And we have all kinds of problems with them. Unlike the Japanese, with the Muslims, you have not just a consistent group of just Muslims. You have many different ideologies going on between them, and they actually start to attack each other, basically make their own lives hell within these refugee shelters.
This is a good segue into Cheshire's story, actually. Let's take a look at this thing. This thing makes me sick.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Cheshire. Introduce yourself and then cover this article.
Ooh. Well, hello to everyone. As most people who watch these streams know, I'm just some cancerous white man with no soul from the UK. You can follow me on.
Also.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at TwistyRichie98. Ugh, can't speak. And yeah, I saw this article on the train today in the Telegraph. Welsh schoolgirl kept as a prisoner in a cage and starved and abused by her father because her lifestyle was un-Islamic, quote unquote.
And I still don't understand why everyone's so against gassing these guys.
So yeah.
Because gassing cockroaches doesn't work.
to be fair, I mean, you know, you have incidences of this kind of abusive behavior from all sorts of cultures, but you know, remember it was a few years ago in the Midwest, a Hispanic guy had like 3 or 4 gals trapped in his house that he would have sex with for like 10 or 20 years, something like that. You guys remember that story?
I remember it.
Yeah, and I mean, so this shit does happen,
Yeah.
but when you go to, like, say, layman's videos and you see the stats on the crimes committed by Muslims compared to the rest of the population, it's a fucking no-brainer.
In France,
Until you
the-
cunts get it figured out how to behave like decent human beings, you can stay the fuck out of our countries.
In France, something like 70% of violent crimes are committed by Muslims.
Yeah.
Yeah, Muslims in Europe are basically like black youth in America. It's not nice to say, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love that comparison. I love it.
The
Yeah,
main
but
plot-
because they're hanging out on the street corners, they're not. In a lot of cases, they're not doing anything with their lives, but harassing people. In fact, was it last Saturday? Gunny, I had a stream with Gunny and Gary Orsum, and he was telling a story, or it was maybe the weekend before, where he was just walking down the street and he had some Muslims from, I think it was, you know, one of the African countries, and they were harassing these 2 gals because the gals had dogs, and I guess dogs are, you know, dirty creatures.
They're haram.
Yeah.
They're haram.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
And so they were just going after these poor ladies, and Gunny, you know, told them to back off, and they started coming at him, and he said he lifted his shirt tail and showed him his firearm because he's got a concealed carry permit.
Oh my god.
That ended it. But, you know, he said, I was so fucking shaken mad because here they are in my neighborhood trying to impose this fucking crazy nonsense on our culture. And I'm with him. If you don't like our culture, you're not welcome here. Sorry.
Oh no, you're still welcome here, but if you don't like being here, then leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I mean, we've seen this in England, we've seen this in the Netherlands, that there are areas with lots of Muslim people living there. They want that the local people that have dogs don't let their dogs out in their neighborhood. I'm sorry, mate, this is not your neighborhood. This is our neighborhood.
I mean, it's also pretty hypocritical. If these people really have such a strong incentive to change their local social life, why don't they put this energy into their home countries and actually fix them?
Yeah, that Edgy makes that point all the time, and I'm with him because, look, if you come over here and cause chaos, drain our resources, we actually can't really do much to help you. I say keep them over there. We will support you in ways that, if you're going to actually do something, try to do something that's effective, we'll help you. But if you're just going to fucking, on one hand, called America the greatest demon of the great Satan, and on the other hand, hey, can you give us some aid? Well, then you can just still fuck right off, as far as I'm concerned. But
I mean, being a human being is the greatest resource. You can do so much with your body. You can make things. You can help people. You can work together. There's all kinds of possibilities for them to make something that they want out of this world. What we have here was made out of people's ambitions and hard work and labor, and they can do it too in their own way, together. They don't have to be victims, you know.
And that would be the greatest argument for assisting these people in their own countries, because typically speaking, when you're dealing with a country that's not war-torn, it's only the top 10% that have the capacity to move elsewhere. And these are the top 10% for whatever reason, whether it's they have the greatest economic resources or the greatest intellectual resources. These are people that could fundamentally change their countries. And yet, these are the people that are looking around and going, no, this is a shithole, and leaving.
Yeah.
Except for the absolute rulers, right? You know.
Well, and except for those that currently we see streaming into Europe, into I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the zone, but the open border zone in the EU. I mean,
Yeah, the Schengen area.
yeah, Schengen area. There you go.
I was going to call it Merkel's knickers.
No. The Schengen area has been a long standing project. I mean, this is well from before the current situation.
I find it interesting that it's my understanding that a lot of the people that have taken advantage of the pre-Middle Eastern crisis Schengen area were particularly Polacks. That for whatever reason,
amongst others, yeah, not
they were one of
amongst others.
They were one of the largest groups to take advantage of the mobility to pursue better economic opportunity.
Yes.
And yet, in Poland, they're like, nope, fuck you, we don't want the Muslims, get the fuck out.
No, you don't. I'm sorry. I'm going to counter your comparison there, because the Polish people that went to try and find places to work and better their socioeconomic status actually went to other countries to work.
Oh no, I'm absolutely
so
fine with the
they
fact
didn't go to other countries to
freeload.
No, they went there to work, and they are actually doing a lot of that work.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm absolutely completely aware of the fact that they actually moved. Most of the people that I know from the UK have mentioned the fact that the Polish came in and engaged in the economy.
Yeah,
but I mean that is a fundamental difference between how, say, the Polish people have treated the Schengen zone and how the Schengen zone has been misused in the aftermath of this Middle Eastern and North Middle Eastern crisis.
Look at the story, though, that Cheshire showed us. This fucking judge that's handling this, I mean, he may not have the case. He may not have all the power he needs to do what needs to be done to help this poor chick. But this is his fucking quote. We have to be careful about asserting the supremacy of our cultural
I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
When an individual declares that that one of their offspring is not sufficiently upholding your cultural standards, and your response is to put them in a cage and starve them, your cultural standards are not in line with those of Western culture.
I'm going to say, I'm going to be very careful when I explain this. Our standards are beautiful compared to your shit. There. I was very careful explaining that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justice Holman.
But this is the problem. You see this not only in the UK, you see this in the rest of Europe as well. Basically, we know that they are committing crimes by our standards, by our laws, and judges will actually say what they are doing is a crime, and then they just postpone on sentencing because, well, poor little Muslim. It's beyond anything I can comprehend. I mean, there have been people arrested and persecuted because of the Cologne attacks for New Year. I mean, I assume you all know what happened there.
Yeah, they got 6 months of probation. Hmm.
Yeah, but the judge actually said what you did is heinous. It is terrible, and then he slaps them on their wrist. So if the sentence does not compute when you look at why he gave the sentence.
The thing is, it's not even the biggest issue that they give them so low sentences. Actually, in Germany, you can apply Sharia law to them if they are only here a really short time and if they happen to be strongly connected to their culture and shit like that. So
how bizarre!
It's completely retarded.
Here's something that hasn't been pointed out very much lately. Is, okay, how much have we done in the past 50 years for the Middle East to try and help them out and bring them into modern times?
Let's be fair. How much have we done for and against the Middle East? Because there has been a variety of interventionism that has not been particularly helpful.
Yeah. I mean, the creation of Iran, the creation of
and this
Iraq, the creation of ISIS. This is all interventions.
This actually dates back to the end of the Second World War, when they started chopping lines onto the map without recognition of particular cultural groups. I mean, Kurdistan should have been very differently set up, because there are a lot of Kurds in the northern
Turkey.
stretch of the Middle East, and they got just dropped into Syria, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, and I mean, look at what happened in Iraq. Saddam Hussein was gassing the piss out of them.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost at this point, if our leadership isn't going to do something, somebody is going to give Tex all the chemicals he needs to handle the situation.
Oh, yeah.
I will neither confirm nor deny that I know where access to Agent Orange is.
I'm just going to tell you that Tex in a lab coat, it's a fucking pretty scary idea.
I can still remember when I was when I was a year, I think 14 or 15, when I was going to high school, whatever you call it in the Netherlands. We had a teacher who gave German language lessons, and he back then even said, you know what, just build a wall around the Middle East and just check every 5 years, see how things are going, and eventually you don't have to worry about it because it's
Remember, it's a religion of peace, and the Middle East has not known peace.
No, it's a religion of pieces.
Well, no, the claim is that it's a religion of peace, and the Middle East has not known peace in at least 2,000 years.
Actually, yes, you're right. I mean, there has not been peace between the Sunnis and the Shiites since the Sunnis and the Shiites actually started to exist.
And that's only 1,400 years, but there has been active hostility between other groups in the Middle East.
But that's
for whatever reason, it's a cauldron of fucking hatred.
Yeah,
it's the fucking heat, man.
But I think the whole idea that Islam is a religion of peace, I think that was started by Bush, wasn't it? He was the first that coined the sentence that it's a religion of peace.
Oh yeah, it really pisses me off to this day, because we were attacked by Islamists, and I don't know what the thinking was, whether it was like, well, we don't want to have the situation where we have Japanese internment camps here in the late 20th century. We don't want to do that again. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this campaign where, it's not all Muslims. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to fucking put them all in internment camps, but could you at least go investigate the fucking mosques?
Yeah.
Yes, but remember, according to Sondre, the mosques are not the problem.
It's not mosques that are the problem. It's Republicans.
The mosques aren't the problem. The people in the mosques are the problem.
Yeah. Today in Germany we had a huge raid on a couple of mosques in Middle Germany because they were suspecting them to regularly radicalize teenagers and send them down to Syria. So the police was today actually locking down a whole area of Mühlhausen, which is a city in Thuringia, and basically smashing in the doors of the mosques and searching the buildings for evidence on that.
But I never understood this historically. If we look at America, let's start with America. Historically, America and Muslims has never been a good idea. The very creation of the Navy of America is because of Islam.
Yep.
If we look at Europe,
Shores of Tripoli, buddy.
Yep, shores of Tripoli. Yeah. If we look at Europe, we have never had a good interaction with Islam. We never had it.
Going back to the Moors.
Going back to the Moors, which is roughly a few hundred years after they actually started being Muslim. How bizarre! And yet still there are people saying, well, but yeah, it's a religion of peace. No, it's a religion of submission. That's what the word Islam means. Yes. Submission. Yeah. And yes, okay, there's
right. That's why we need another crusade.
Well, to be fair,
I don't want to carry a cross around.
To be fair, the Pope made one of the strongest statements I've heard out of any pope recently, which was to acknowledge the fact that Europe is currently embroiled in a war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are.
Interesting.
I mean, we're not. I mean, people were talking about the Third World War. Well, the Third World War has been raging for like 5 years now, and it has come into.
But here's the interesting thing. This is considered to be far and away the most progressive pope in history. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
But he's progressive.
He's acknowledged that there are issues with the abstinence-only education in Africa. There are issues with circumcision policies being pushed in Africa. He's acknowledged that there have been rampant abuses of church privilege concerning the child abuse scandals. I mean, this is a pope that has actually stepped forward and said the Catholic Church has in fact hidden and justified and rationalized all of these terrible things.
Yeah, he's not the first pope who did that, by the way. I disagree with you when you say he's the first one. But
Pope
yeah,
John
he is.
Paul did accept responsibility for some of these things, but this is the first pope that has done so unequivocally.
Yeah, but he is indeed a progressive pope. I agree with you on that. But the thing is that if we now hear words like progressive, we already start thinking regressive progressive. There are plenty progressive out there that are not regressive. But European politics.
So far as a Catholic pope is concerned, I would say that this is progressive movement in the most positive manner, considering the possibilities.
Most likely would call out the witch hunts again.
But the problem is that our politicians in Europe have gone regressive.
Yeah.
And no one is allowed to.
Sorry, can I
let's
just
move on
interject?
to the next article and make sure I get it in here. This one here is from, I think, Sergeant Bonkers, is it not?
Yep, that's mine.
All right, tell us about this.
Basically, it should be a wake-up call for MGTOWs to actually take a closer look into their community and root out some problems that are spreading within them. There are some people who go for extreme lengths to get back at feminism, and it goes towards the direction of endorsing suicide as valuable approach to get back at women. I mean, they actually call out for their members to kill themselves if they happen to have a family to spite their woman. What the fuck is going on with them?
Isn't this the same guys that said pee yourself to show solidarity with rape victims or something like that?
Yeah, basically. I mean,
I guess that says it all then, doesn't it?
The story they are talking about is basically on Reddit. Someone posted a link of suicide story where a husband would sit at a table with his family and then just slit his throat on the breakfast table with them, just to spite them. And he was basically bleeding out in front of them while they were completely horrified. And the reaction on Reddit towards this story was, awesome, yeah, we should totally do this. We should get back at women like this guy.
Oh my
Well,
god.
that's a good way for your movement to end really quickly.
Speaking of Reddit, Donald Trump himself has just begun an Ask Me Anything on R the Donald.
Give me the link to this.
I'm Donald Trump, and I'm your next president of the United States. Hello, the Donald readers and the entire Reddit community. This is going to be so huge, and I'm looking forward to answering your questions. I'm doing this in flight to visit the great people of Toledo, Ohio, so internet connection might be spotty. I promise you I'll answer all the questions I can. I want to do big things for America, and as your president, I will make America great again. Be back in 7 p.m.
Beautiful.
7 p.m. Eastern Time. Here's the link to the side chat.
Thank you.
Is this verified? This ain't troll shit, is it?
No, this is they announced this a few days ago. So what do we want to ask I Trump, guys?
I don't have any questions for him.
I would like to know if he's going to follow through with the law that already permits the building of a wall between Canada and the U.S. because it is the longest undefended border.
No, I have a real question after that one.
No, I legitimately think that there should be better border control. I
Well,
have a passport.
I'm asking him about the Secure Fence Act of 2006, which was supposed to build a wall with Mexico 10 fucking years ago, and the Bush
But that
administration
also
fucked it up.
Also,
but remember, it's only racist when Trump does it.
no, that also counts for better border control between Canada and the U.S.
Listen to this guy. He doesn't want any of our shit getting into this country. Build the fucking fence yourself, Marking. I got a pair of fencing pliers right out here.
What you guys don't know is the fence is already up, and it has been up.
What? From the Canada to...
There is actually a completely clear-cut strip between the Canada and the U.S. that extends 50 meters on either side of the border.
Yeah.
And there is a fence now in between that clear cut.
Why? Is Canada afraid too many Americans are coming in?
Yeah?
Yeah, actually we are. And in particular, I want to keep the Lena Dunhams out.
Well, yeah. But
And
that's
the
amazing. I
Wilbur.
mean, how can she be such an important person in the Democratic Party whilst actually constantly telling people, yeah, I'm a pedophile, and I did those things.
Remember, this is the new America, where Salon has mentioned that pedophilia should in fact be considered a sexual orientation.
If you are against the right, it doesn't matter to them. You can be anybody. If fucking Charles Manson fucking started going after the Republican Party, they'd hold him out as a spokesperson.
Yeah, and
They
remember,
just don't fucking care.
this is Charles Manson is the person who said that Scientology was too crazy for him.
That tells you something.
I've asked him about the Secure Fence Act, and now I'm asking him about 8 U.S. Code Section 1182, inadmissible aliens, which is already on the books and would allow him to bar entry from Muslim countries.
Yeah.
Yep. And basically, it boils
No
down
active-
to he doesn't even require executive order.
No.
But I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to say this. You're asking the wrong sort of questions. We're talking about Reddit.
Exactly.
So the question should be, how many times did you have sex with your daughter?
Or can I have sex with a daughter?
No.
Oh, yeah.
The appropriate questions coming from Reddit should in fact be, will you make anime great again?
I'll ask that next.
I want to ask
I would
if he intends to abide by the restrictions of the Constitution when you're done. He won't answer that, I bet.
Well, why not? I'm trying to help him here. I hope he sees this, because I have a feeling Trump does not know about this.
Yeah.
Oh well, I think you could you could write libraries full of books with what he doesn't know. What he should know, but what he doesn't know.
The fucking Secret Service is coming for you.
Hey, these two are legitimate questions.
I would have suggested logging into your sock puppet account for the Make Anime Great Again, but you know.
Oh, it's too late now. They got Well, he's on
It's
Evil
there.
Gun. He's done streams with Evil Gunny. They already know about him.
All right, come on, keep him coming.
I asked you, fuck man. I want to know if he's going to abide by the restrictions of the Constitution, or does he think that he is above the Constitution?
What does he believe his interactions will be with current progressive heads of state?
And college professors. I mean, what is he going to do about the regressive narrative on
of state
campus?
will be like.
Have you noticed something? This Edgy can type fast. I think he's a girl.
Hey,
Franny.
I'm just a genius.
Is he going to take money out of politics?
He's Reddit Rain Man.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to ask a bunch of questions, and hopefully he'll see one of them.
Let's see, what else? Here's one. He has stated his firm opposition to Common Core. What are his intentions concerning a new and better budgetary policy concerning curricula development, delivery, and teacher funding?
Can you repeat that last part?
Regarding better curricula development, delivery, and teacher funding.
That's actually
At
a
the
very
state
good
level.
question.
Yeah, private education there, marking. Yeah, we'll disagree on that one, eh?
Especially at the because he's made it very clear that he wants to return control to the local school districts.
Will he put Black Lives Matter on the terrorist list?
I actually would love to know that.
There is actually a petition to consider them a terrorist organization.
That was started by Edgy.
No,
That's
I
already-
didn't.
that's-
I didn't start it. I just shilled it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already been answered on that, by the way, and the White House already said no, we're not going to do that because that's not our whatever. They gave some bullshit.
No, you're kidding me.
No, you want me to pull up the mail? I got
Yeah,
it
I
somewhere.
could do that
pull it
right.
up, dude.
I could do that right now as well.
But yeah, basically they said, well, this is not something the White House does, so we're not
What
going
are
to
his
do it.
opinions on TPP and other similar international
Well, he's
trade
already said
agreements?
no to
Oh, I definitely
TPP.
Yeah,
would like
no,
to know
on
that.
on similar
Oh.
international trade agreements that do not require individual governmental approval.
By the way, for anyone who cares, this is my Reddit account. I don't give a shit. I never use it anymore. This right here.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
you even
Edgy
have one.
doxed.
No,
Well,
we already found out he's David Duke, guys.
Well, you know what? I could go back in my post history and find posts from like 3 years ago when I was basically a fucking commie. So,
Oh man.
well, more
I
like
don't
4 or
know.
5.
Alright,
So nothing has changed then.
All right, I clearly need to make arrangements. Okay, so Cultivated Heathen and I need to go and re-educate the Sandstone fuckhead. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Come on,
that's a good. It is.
Questions from someone other than Modwayne and Marking.
Oh, man, I got mine in.
Why am I not allowed to give you
Here's
one?
my
I only
question.
gave you two.
Why can't I trust you, you fucking flip dude motherfucker?
Because he's a politician. That's easy. Anyone can
No.
tell you that.
I mean, I don't really trust his answers, but I would like to know, I mean, because I haven't really seen him say anything about this, about,
I
the
have
separation of powers, the separation of the federal government versus state governments. I've not seen a lot of
I would like to
constitutional
know.
considerations.
I would like to know if
You
he has
fucker.
any specific plans to address the. How am I going to word this? How does he plan to address the concerns of the base relevant concerns of Black Lives Matter, while still recognizing that the police need. Fuck you. The police need to be adequately protected.
So you're talking about
There are policing issues at the community level. Is he
Right.
planning to return policing to a community organized level?
a peace organization is what it used to be. It seemed like to me, and then it turned into
Black
these-
Lives Matter, Tom, used to be a peace organization.
No, the police.
The
Oh,
police.
Police used to function
yeah.
at a community level.
It used to be like this is serious. When I was a kid growing up, we had a guy that was our local deputy that was like
Beat cops.
no, the guy from fucking
You know what?
They had to-
How's that, Marking?
I think that's actually an excellent way of wording that.
instead of militaristic thugs. I don't want to say that, but it's something like that.
But the problem is that there's been an escalation on both sides. There has been a militaristic
okay, that's
a
good.
militaristic enhancement of police power, and on the other hand, there has been a reactionary movement in response that you see very heavily in places like Detroit and Chicago and St. Louis.
Well, that's because Detroit and Chicago are fucking war zones.
Yes, and even St. Louis is to some extent a bit of a war zone. I mean, and that's kind of the key point to that question is, can we return policing to a more community level where the police are engaged at a community level where they're well known and they are part of the community?
Put in there Andy Griffith style. I mean, seriously,
To
because
an engaged. No, return to an engaged.
I think that's
Sure.
a good way of. It's a
Yeah,
little.
no, you know
goofy,
what?
but-
That's not a bad way of putting it. I mean,
and it worked, because I'll tell you, when I was a kid, we were at a kegger, you know, all underaged, and the sheriff shows up, and he's like,
you're all a bunch of drunken young retards,
kids, yeah,
and you probably should go home now.
He gets on his bullhorn, you know, and he goes, all right, because we all hid in the woods as soon as he showed up. All right, come out, wherever you are.
I'm gonna get that.
That's not creepy.
Tex was asking for that email, but it's on my personal email, so give me a second to copy and paste the text so I don't actually dox myself.
While you're doing that, is anybody got a story that I didn't get out? I think I got to them all, but I don't know for sure.
I don't have one. I don't remember.
I didn't have one. I wasn't. I
Oh,
wasn't
he
sure if
doesn't
I
have
would
to
be
have
there.
one. He's my co-host. The rest of you guys got to pony up.
I already did, but then again, you started bitching about it.
Well, yeah, it was a terrible article.
It was fantastic.
Okay,
Nigga,
I
you
got
asked
it.
for articles.
I got it here. So, thanks for
That's a wall of
participating.
text.
Thanks for participating on the We the People platform. You recently signed a petition asking the administration to formally recognize Black Lives Matter as a terrorist organization. In the week of the tragic recent events in Dallas, Falcon Heights, and Baton Rouge, the president brought together law enforcement officials, civil rights leaders, activists, faith leaders, academics, and state and local elected officials this week to encourage frank conversations about the steps we can take together to build trust and ensure justice for all Americans. As part of these conversations, the president directly addressed the concern that the Black Lives Matter slogan, social media movement, and the associated protests are somehow inherently where could we have gotten that idea? That they're somehow inherently anti-police.
Oh, damn, I don't
Dear
know.
fucking God.
Maybe because they're getting killed by BLM supporters. Just
Well, yeah,
throwing it out there as a theory.
and because
They're actually shouting for it.
yeah.
What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them?
Right. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, there we go.
Say what? Shoot cops.
On
And this doesn't fall under the right of free speech. This is incitement.
And we're still not calling these people terrorists?
Nope.
What I like, the most heartening thing about this, and I'm not calling for violence, but the most heartening thing about seeing that was one well-placed 40-millimeter grenade would have wiped out that whole.
Yeah, I mean,
But this
they would just roll out the National Guard. They could shut this down really quick. But I think this is perhaps the most damning thing is that Black Lives Matter, the co-founders of Black Lives Matter, openly idolize and call this woman their inspiration. This woman is Assata Shakur, who was a black nationalist in the 60s and 70s, member of the Black Panthers, member of the Black Liberation Army, murdered a state trooper and was convicted of murdering that state trooper, broke out of prison in the late 70s, and she's been hiding in Cuba ever since then. And I have the clip. I have the clip of them endorsing her right here. This is what they do. They go around to their little.
Final word, Patrice? Yeah, I'm going to make everybody stand up if they can and do a chant with us. Okay, let's do it. So this is how we close out every meeting, every event, every action, every freeway we've shut down, every mall we've shut down. You'll hear this chant reverberated throughout this country, and you'll hear it in other countries now too. This is from our beloved Assata Shakur, who is on the #1 FBI most wanted list, and she's a powerful leader who we are inspired by. Many of us have Asada Taught Me sweaters. So it's 3 times, and we're going to start off with a whisper, and you're going to just repeat it. It is our duty to fight for freedom.
Oh, fuck their commie fuckers.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chain.
We have nothing to lose but our chain.
This is code level.
Yeah,
Their
yeah,
chains.
yeah, peaceful protest movement, and totally not a cult at all, and totally not anti-police.
Oh, totally.
And not terrorists.
Yeah, not terrorists. Listen, I've made a movie about this once some time ago on how at Mizzou there were protesters going on like, it is our duty to fight for our freedom. And I'm like, imagine a bunch of white guys going into, or women, going into a cafeteria or a library shouting, it is our duty to fight for our freedom, it is our duty to win. We must love and protect one another and get rid of all the blacks.
What freedom do they not have exactly?
But even if they're not going to add, we got rid of all the blacks, just go in there, shout, and be a general nuisance. How long do you think that protest will last?
Well, I don't know how to answer that, but I guess the thing is that any time that white people do anything, it's considered a hate crime. So we're not allowed to even parody this shit hardly anymore.
And for some reason, exclusively white males.
Yeah,
exactly.
But we as a society allow this.
White male.
Exactly.
But which has been shouted by a white dude. So
yeah.
I'm not even blaming the black people
All right,
for this.
I want to wrap this up. We're getting close to the end of the time here, but Sergeant Bonkers had a second link that he wanted to go over first, but I don't want to cover it this. This is a really interesting Bonkers, and I want to do this as a stream in and of itself, maybe next Wednesday if you're available.
Yeah, that would be fun.
All right, let's save this for next week. This one is a really interesting article. Thank you for actually coming up with one that was good. I'm looking at you, Tex.
Can you send the link, please, Tom? I want to try to. Where?
It's in the sidebar under Sergeant Bonkers.
Post up.
Yeah, I joined later, so I don't have the sidebar.
Wait.
If you go to the side and click on,
There you go.
move your mouse all the way to the side and click on chat, it'll open it all.
Thank you.
Okay, so final thoughts, and I always do this from left to right as the audience can see it. So the first person that gets to go, unfortunately, is Tex. Tex, final thoughts.
It's always me, motherfucker.
Any final thoughts?
Sure. All right. So I am actually making just a quick little video on why Black Lives Matter is such a stupid ass movement. Basically, it should be coming out either later today or tomorrow. Look out for that.
All right, sounds good. Next, Sergeant Bonkers. By the way, before you give your final thoughts, tell us about your icon. That's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, basically, it's one of the first things that came up when I googled guerrilla warfare.
Naked Ape is currently absolutely fucking offended, I'm sure.
Definitely keep that one. I love it to death, especially since I am a Gorillaz fan. So, final thoughts on the thing. When I look into what's going on with MGTOWs, when I look at what's going on in the rest of the world, I mean, I used to live in a world where the German Suicide Squad was political satire, and I really want to live in that world again.
Yeah.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Huh?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
What does that mean?
It's goodbye in German.
It means I will see you
Ich wünsche
again.
euch allen einen schönen Abend.
Wo ist der Bier?
Wie ist das? Gute Nacht, Freundin. Es ist Zeit für mich zu gehen. Was ich
Nein,
noch zu
nein,
sagen
nein,
hätte, dauert eine Zigarette. Und
You
das
keep
ist das
talking,
Glas
call me
stehen.
talk, I'll eject your ass, motherfucker.
Mr. Beer.
Some awesome German right there.
In fact, Modwayne, you're next. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I do actually. Maybe we should stop calling Black Lives Matter Black Lives Matter. As I said earlier, maybe we should call them Black Lives Matter, or we should just use the hashtag FOS or full of shit instead of BLM.
Second.
Because BLM could also mean Blue Lives Matter, which makes more sense to me.
Racist.
Or hashtag Nigger Lives Matter.
Black
Monkey.
Olives Matter.
Marking, you're next. Final thoughts?
I would really like it if BLM took a backseat to the very effective negotiation that First Nations groups have been engaging in Canada. I would absolutely. Okay, so the First Nations groups have had a variety of issues in Canada, and they have approached the government and they have actively sought negotiation, and this has worked very well. And we don't need inflammatory, near riotous.
You didn't have to have the RCMP assassinated.
No, we actually, if anybody wants to look up the Oka crisis, we had a native group blockade a highway, and we've had several hunger strikes. But these are not the sorts of riotous events that have taken the lives and the property of people that really just want to goddamn live in their communities.
Yeah.
So perhaps this community engagement and this community level policing would fucking assist us. But God forbid that we actually look at each other and consider each and every one of us a person with a right to live.
I'm with you. I've been saying for a while now, I have sympathy for people that feel like the cops are going too far, but the response has been the wrong response. I like Martin Luther King's response to, how he handled it, and that was actually
and that's one of my biggest objections to D. Ray's response to his arrest or jaywalking or whatever the fuck it was, is he's trying to position himself as a new Martin Luther King, and he simply doesn't have the fucking balls.
Yeah. Futternut, I really hate to ask for your final thoughts, but I'm going to. Futternut,
I have to say, let's bring back internment camps.
I knew it!
Hashtag bring back lynching.
Internment camps are the solution.
Exactly.
And if we put them in the Arctic Circle...
Or the gas chambers.
Is there a big enough area in Alaska to permit that? Because I don't want these people interned in Canada.
Yeah, the North Pole.
Not even like the Yukon Territory or like Nunavut or something?
Nope. Nope. You can keep your fucking nuts. Make Canada great again.
All right, Edgy.
Well, you guys need a Trump up there. You really do.
Yeah, I'm specifically not running for office for a reason.
Edgy, you're next. Final thoughts.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna one up Fodder on the edgy statements here, but I think that anyone who has ever publicly advocated for Sharia law in the United States and anyone associated with them should be tried under treason law and exiled.
Oh my God!
This could be done without granting the government any new powers that it doesn't already have. This is already something that we could do under the existing law because treason.
I agree with you.
Treason is, I should say, Sharia is tantamount to an attempt to subvert the established political and social order.
Advocacy for overturning the existing legal structure. Sharia law advocates for overturning the current legal structure.
Yes, and even if they were simply
democratic way, right?
Even if they were simply advocating for a parallel Sharia system like we're seeing in Europe, that would not be acceptable under U.S. law. That would also be
under U.S. law. That actually breaches the First Amendment, which is both freedom of religion and from religion.
Yeah, actually, it's not allowed in Europe either, to be honest. I mean, some areas seem to have it, but they
Well,
do not supersede normal religion.
Yeah, but your
Talk to
governments
Ms.
have
Merkel.
your governments have tucked their balls back and they're letting women run things. So.
I'm not German. I'm not German, so don't. No.
I'm sorry, Modwayne. Did I couldn't hear you over the Feminist Party of Sweden.
That's not my problem.
In reply to Edgy's final thoughts, I say next election, Edgy for Prime Minister.
Yes.
All right.
Can non-Canadians be Prime Minister?
Actually, you can.
Wow, your country is such a cuck shithole. You would let someone else who was not even born in your country, who was not even Canadian.
Citizen.
Oh, okay, they have to be a citizen. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So you actually have to. It's usually a 5 to 7 year process.
Okay.
Yeah,
as opposed to the 18 months that Ted Cruz underwent, establishing that he was naturalized enough to run for president.
There's no way that Edgy is going to last another 5 to 7 years, considering his level of cancer. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
I'm sorry. Did somebody say cancer?
Yeah. No, you better.
Copyright claim.
It's cultivated heathen. You get to close out the show.
Stop
it.
I'll mute him. God damn it.
What's that music?
Come in again and say the motherfucking day. Yeah.
I'll mute your ass all day, Edgy.
I'm doing it too, man. Go ahead, cultivated. You get in the show.
Okay. I just want to ease everybody's conscience and say that the money we're using to not fund cockroach milk will save the world.
All right, on that, we're going to end the show. Thanks for everybody for showing up. Appreciate your patronage.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.